Okay, so I'll give you a close-up. So I left the hair that I had put on, and all I did was grab a fine brush like this. I know this brush looks terrible, but it's my favorite, and I'm not giving it up until it gives up the ghost. I love it. I have like 3 of them. I don't even know where I got it. I think I talked about it before. I think I got them online. I can't remember. But, you know, it's just a long liner brush, a very fine liner brush. And a lot of people don't like to go hair by hair by hair by hair. It's tedious. And sometimes it looks a little too drawn on. So I swap that out with, you know, a brush that you just kind of cut the bristles out of. And I go back and forth just so that it doesn't look like I drew every hair on one by one. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to break it up a little bit. And I'm just going to mix up all these browns on this tray. This is my final layer on this hair. I didn't even plan to go this detailed on this hair at all. I think what happens is I just got a little bit carried away. I'm a little embarrassed to say. Sometimes you just get into a groove. I'm sitting here listening to a podcast and just painting hair, and you look up and, you know, time has gone by and you've painted a lot more hair than you planned to. Go. And I'm just going to do some touch-ups. I just don't want some weird baldy spots. And I think I'm going to attempt to give her some eyebrows. Oh, I hope I didn't do it. I think I did. I did. I baked her before wiping down her ears, and she's got a big brown spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this toothpick in some, I'll show you. Do you see it? Oh, drives me crazy. So I'm just going to soak a toothpick in here. The vinyl is still kind of warm, so it should come off pretty easily. It came off really easily, and it didn't even like strip down the vinyl, so we're in good shape. When I go to give her her varnish, it'll all even out. So I think what I'm gonna do, now, oops, wrong brush. I think what I'm gonna do is just tidy up a bit, fill in any pink places that need pinking up or blushing, and give her another bake. And while she's warm, oh, I should have done this before I painted her. I'm gonna need to cut out those doggone eyes in the back. Let me see if I have an X-Acto here. Let me see, I just wanna do it while the vinyl is still warm. I might have to wait till the next bake. Oh no, it's coming off really easily. And you want to be careful you don't split the outside of that eye. The pouches that her eyes were in were really big because she had those mechanical eyes. And I can't fit, you know, just a regular acrylic eye in there. I'm going to have to pull it out. I'm going to leave some of it so the eye has like a little shelf to sit on and I can just glue it in. I don't like putting eyes in from the front because I have split the vinyl too many times to count, and it wrecks the whole baby. And so now I'm paranoid, so I just go through the back. I've split vinyl in the back too, but I do my best not to. There we go. That's what was in there. That's what I was fighting. There we go, and I didn't even disturb her hair. I think she's looking pretty darn cute, if you ask me. I'm going to give her a wee bit of another bake. This poor baby has been baked to pieces, but she's had a lot of layers, mostly fleshy brown layers, just to deepen up her skin a bit. What I'm doing right now is a little tiny bit of discoloration was on her, and I'm just taking it off. And I'm wondering if there's anything I need to touch up before I bake, and it doesn't seem like it. I did get a little buildup in the dimples around her mouth, but it was kind of inevitable. And right here under here where I tried to give her a little blushing under her lip, it looks a little too streaky to me. So I'm going to kind of mess with that a little bit so it doesn't look like a line. And then I'm gonna go back and re-blush that. A lot of my little sugar babies that I made are already adopted. They are getting adopted quick. I priced them very fairly, I think. A lot of people have that type of doll out there for a little less, but they didn't root. Some people didn't paint hair. And for some of the babies, the hats don't come off, so you can't, or you can't take off the costume. I didn't make those for them to be undressed. That wasn't my plan, because I put that music box, and so I didn't expect anybody to be able to undress that baby, but realistically they could, and it would just be a regular cuddle baby. And that's okay, but I just don't want them to end up on the secondhand market marked as St. Cloud cuddle babies, because they most definitely are not, and that was not my intention. They are super cute though. They turned out way cuter than I expected them to. I'm doing a little bit of purpley eyelid-y here, just to give it a little bit more depth. I have to stop myself at this point because it's where I get myself in trouble, is all the little touch-ups. I keep thinking, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, and it's good enough. I'm just being weird. So there she is, with no eyeballs. She's going in. We'll be back and we'll pick out some eyeballs for her. Okay, so here we are. I have a tub of varnish. I'm going to varnish this baby and varnish its hair. But while it's warm, I'm going to just try to see if I have some eyes that will work. The original eyes in this baby were mechanical. Eyes. They looked like this. And they're kind of big. I'm guessing they're like a 20. I could do something really fun and do a super bright green. Let's see what it might look like. Might look good for an alternative baby, but I'm not feeling it for this baby. I have a darker green. They're fun and very dolly. I'm trying to get them in there and hold them in place so I can show them to you. So those are kind of cute. I'm sorry you're not getting a good look. It's just a really hard angle to hold them in. What else do I have? I have a hazel brown that might be pretty. That's really pretty. I think that's on my short list. The green is pretty too. Maybe I'll put the green aside also. I can look at a dark brown. The dark brown really looks good. I think I'm gonna go with the dark brown actually. Let's pop this one in just for fun. Again, pretty for maybe an alternative baby. Eyeballs flying everywhere. Oh, here's a purpley blue. That's kind of pretty too. I don't know. My gut tells me to go with the brown. I have a really pretty robin's egg blue. It's so funny moving her eye around. That's kind of pretty also. This is really pretty. Look. See how pretty that is? Oh my goodness, it really is pretty. I am torn. What to do, what to do. I have a hard time finding this color blue. Let's pop in the brown one more time. The brown are more dolly, and I think they go with her complexion a little bit more. I could even make her a boy with these brown eyes. Doggone it, it's so difficult. I'm gonna do the brown. Back, and I thought this would be a great opportunity. The head's still warm, to maybe try out some of this mohair. I said I wasn't going to root her, but I think I'm gonna just give her a little bit of hair. I have to give her eyelashes anyway, so I might as well, right? And I'm not gonna do any crazy rooting, just a little bit on top. And I'm figuring by the time she cools down, I am not even gonna be able to get this needle in there. But that's okay, I have like 20 minutes before I have to go pick up my son. So might as well just have fun. I had a little scare the other day. For some reason, had this idea that I did not book my hotel room for as long as I was going to need it in Utah. And so I called the hotel to check on the reservation, be sure, because I like sleeping at night without worrying about things. And they said, we don't have a reservation for you. And I went, oh my gosh. What do you mean? I made it. And I remember they said, where's your confirmation number? And I said, I don't know. I know I wrote it down somewhere and I couldn't remember. And I had it, I thought I had it in my phone, and I looked and I had the date that I confirmed, but I didn't put down the confirmation number. And I thought, oh no. So I said, well, then I'm going to need to book a room. And they said, we don't have any rooms for that date. I was panicking. I was thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to have to find an Airbnb. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to bunk with somebody. I'm going to have to figure this out. I was in a panic. I have an unusual last name. It's hyphenated. I just use part of my last name. And it's not that I'm like, you know, some fugitive or something and I've got all these aliases. I don't. I just don't use the whole name because it's not always something that I need to do. Like, you know, when you're saving a table at a restaurant, I don't give them my whole name. I shorten it down. So I was thinking about it and I thought, oh, wait a minute. On my credit card has my whole name and they wanted me to give the exact name and spelling that was on my credit card. So I called them back and I said, check under this name, and they did. And I have to admit, you know, they were like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, I had to explain all that to them. Oh, you know, this is my last name, but I am in a habit of not using the whole thing because it's long and, you know, doing all that stuff. And so anyway, they were able to find the reservation and I'm good to go. I start my new diet today, so I'm going to take my poor sad son who went to school, you know, feeling bummed out. I'm going to take him over to, woo-wee, this is pluggy. I'm going to be in there with a pair of tweezers. I'm telling myself not to, just to leave it this way, but I can't. I can't just leave it that way. It's going to drive me crazy. I have a vacation planned with my family to visit family in Hawaii in a couple of months. And I love going to Hawaii. It's one of my favorite vacation places. I feel at home there. I lived the first couple of years of my life in Hawaii, so even though I don't have a lot of memory, I think it's just in me. I love the weather. It feels familiar. I love the way it smells. I feel at home. Isn't that an odd thing? Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? It's cute. So I think I'll do this much more. That shouldn't take very long. And some babies look fine without eyelashes. Sometimes if I do a really fair baby that's really, really like tiny, like preemie or very, very small newborn, I will just put just the tiniest amount of eyelashes in there. So I'm just doing a little bit. Again, her lid is so thin. I'm just basically almost rooting those eyelashes on top of the lid because there's no rim underneath there. And this was supposed to be my silicone year. I was supposed to sculpt and pour silicone this year. I don't know when I'm going to have the time. I don't want to give up on it, but I don't know when I'm going to have the time to do it. I'm going to be working my booty off before vacation to get babies done for Rose, and then I need to have babies to sell so people won't forget about me and say, oh, I guess she doesn't make babies anymore.